From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Just hours before the French language leaders debate began, the commission running it rescinded its invitation to the Green Party. The commission says it's because the party intentionally reduced its number of candidates and no longer meets the criteria to be included. Green Party co-leader Jonathan Pedneau calls it an effort to silence his party.
Their last-minute decision to exclude the Green Party of Canada from the leaders' debate is not only unjust and baseless because we met the criteria, it is undemocratic.
He says the Greens were notified of the decision this morning, less than an hour before it was publicly announced. The Bank of Canada is keeping its benchmark interest rate on hold as it tries to get a clearer picture of how global trade uncertainty will affect Canada's economy. The central bank kept its policy rate steady at 2.75%. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem says the Canadian economy is starting from a good position, but what happens next depends on U.S. trade policy.
The dramatic protectionist shift in U.S. trade policy and the chaotic delivery have increased uncertainty, roiled financial markets, diminished global growth prospects, and increased inflation expectations.
The Bank of Canada's next scheduled rate decision is set for June 4th. BC's government is being urged to end a contract with the American company that owns Life Labs. BC's Health Coalition urges Premier David Eby to follow through on his directive last week for all government bodies to review their connections to American firms, given the tariff dispute. The coalition wants the province to bring outpatient lab services into the public system. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is fast-tracking permits for a protective tunnel around an aging pipeline that supplies Ontario with crude oil and natural gas. Enbridge has used Line 5 since 1953, and the company says the pipeline is safe, but a tunnel would better protect the line and potentially prevent a catastrophic spill between Lakes Huron and Michigan. Toronto police have identified their suspect in yesterday's hit and run that injured 4 people on a downtown university campus. Police Inspector Errol Watson says 23-year-old Ryan Petrov is wanted on multiple charges.
We believe this individual is dangerous, and we are urging the public not to approach him. If you see him, call police immediately.
Police believe the suspect and intended victim knew each other, but Watson would not elaborate on the nature of their relationship. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he hopes a Canadian team wins the Stanley Cup, but he would really like it to be the Toronto Maple Leafs. Leafs are set to face off against the Ottawa Senators in the playoffs for the first time in more than 20 years. The 7-game series begins Sunday. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Montreal Canadiens are set for their biggest and last game of the regular season tonight. Montreal needs at least 1 point to clinch the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. In baseball, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit his first homer of the season, helping the Toronto Blue Jays to a 3-1 victory this afternoon over the Atlanta Braves. Toronto Raptors president Masai Ujiri told his season-ending news conference Toronto is poised to return to the NBA's postseason. He says it was tough going, trying to improve the Raptors without damaging their position in this summer's draft. Canada takes on Japan tomorrow in a quarterfinal at the Women's World Hockey Championship in Czechia. Canadian forward Sarah Nurse says the Japanese pose a few challenges.
They have some skills, some speed. They're a little bit of a smaller group, so obviously they're going to be a little bit more slippery out there, so just being able to play the body.
Canada is the defending champion in the tournament and blanked Japan 5-0 in their last meeting in 2023. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.